so now it's your turn. I'd like you to try these, please. And so you can pause your video right now. All right, so over here we have a radical and a radical. And this is nice because they're both self-contained, really. So we can just square both sides, and we get 2x plus 5 equals x plus 7. Subtract x from both sides, and I get x plus 5 equals 7. And I subtract 5 from both sides, and I get x equals 2. So let's just plug it in real quick just to make sure that it works. Okay, if I plug in 2 right here and 2 right here, this is going to be 4 plus 5, so that's the square root of 9, equals 2 plus 7 is the square root of 9. So 2 is my answer. Now this one's I'm gonna use up more space, so I'm gonna erase all this, and I'm going to just ignore this for now, and I'm going to bring this over here. All right, we've got to square. Again, I've got the same issue as I did with the last example. I've got, if I add 2 to both sides, I have the same issue with having a little straggler hanging on. But I still need to square both sides. So, when I square this side, I'm going to get the square root of x plus 6 minus 2 times the square root of x plus 6 minus 2. And when I FOIL this, okay, square root of x plus 6 times the square root of x plus 6 is just x plus 6. Then I have minus 2 times the square root of x plus 6 minus 2 times the square root of x plus 6. And then lastly, plus 4. So I have x plus 6 minus 4 times the square root of x plus 6 plus 4. All right, so now when I combine my like terms, I have x plus 6 plus 4 is 10 minus 4 times the square root of x plus 6 equals, remember I squared this, so this is x minus 2. All right, so let's get everything over to the correct sides. We want to get this by itself. So I'm going to subtract x and 10 from both sides. So subtract x, subtract 10, and now I have negative 4 times the square root of x plus 6 equals, okay, the x's cancel, negative 12. Now again, we look at this and go, oh, you can't take the square root of this and get a negative. But look, I have a negative 4 right here in the front. So when I divide through by negative 4, I get the square root of x plus 6 equals 3. And now, when I square, I have x plus 6 equals 9. Subtract 6, x equals 3. So the square root of 9 is 3 minus 2 is 1, and the square root of 1 is 1. So we didn't have any extraneous solutions for that, because usually when we have extraneous solutions, we've got 2 answers and one of them is extraneous. But not always. Sometimes they both work. So you just have to check those out. Okay, so let's do the same thing, but this time, instead of things being in radical form, we're going to have them in rational exponent form. And I actually really like this. I think it makes a lot of sense. So, okay, so we want to get the exponent, the term with the exponent in it by itself. So I'm going to subtract 2 from both sides, and I get 2x to the 3/4 equals 8. Well, what undoes 3/4? What could I multiply 3/4 by? Multiply, remember, not add, but multiply by it to get it to become 1. So we're canceling out that radical. Okay? What we're going to multiply by, we're going to multiply the whole thing by the reciprocal, by 4/3, which means I'm going to do 8 to the 4/3. And so what this becomes then is 2x to the 12th power. Does that make sense? That's why I multiplied it by the reciprocal, the exponent. Okay, and if I make the exponent go up here, I've got to put it over here too. All right, so this becomes 1. So now I have 2x equals 8 to the 4/3 power. Well, I could rewrite it this way. You could put that in your calculator. But 8 to the 1/3 power is 2. Okay, and 2 to the 4th is 16, right? Yeah. 2x equals 16. Divide by 2, and x equals 8. So that is the answer for that one. So the key here is to multiply this by its reciprocal. Okay, so let's look at another one here. This is the same thing as just saying taking the square root of this, right? So if I'm taking the square root of that, that means that I just need to square both sides. That makes that go away. So I have x plus 30 equals x squared. And so now let's get everything over to one side. So x squared minus x minus 30 equals 0. X minus 6 times x plus 5, this is when I factor it. And I get x equals 6 and negative 5. All right, so is one of these not going to work? Well, let's look. If I put in 6 plus 30 to the 1/2, does that equal 6? Well, this is 36 to the 1/2 power, and that is right, so 6 works. But negative 5, if we put that in, we have negative 5 plus 30 to the 1/2 equals negative 5. And you should see, well, let's just keep going. 25 to the 1/2 equals negative 5. And when I take the square root of 20, well, this is the square root of 25, it should equal 5. So let me rewrite this. So the square root of 25 is 5, and that does not equal negative 5. So negative 5 is extraneous. Okay, now, we're going to have to try these in the next video.